Fani Willis confirms her relationship with Nathan Wade, but denies any kind of conflict. Are you buying it? Let's talk about it. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today I bring you breaking news. Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis has confirmed her relationship with Special Prosecutor Nathan Wade. Now, this is really big for a lot of reasons. First of all, Nathan Wade is married or may have just gotten divorced. Remember, Fani Willis appointed this man back in November of 2021 on the election interference case involving the former president of the USA, Donald Trump, and many other co-defendants. It's like 15, 20 people. There's a lot of people in the case. Now, she has given him through her office $650,000 US since January 22. The next highest person that she brought on as far as their payment, $90,000. And the third highest, $75,000. So how do you go from $75,000 to $90,000 to $650,000 with someone you admit that you were fornicating with? You said it right now in the court filing, and we're going to get to a video in a minute. You said it, but how is there no conflict considering all that information that's going on? And just recently, Nathan Wade reached a settlement in his divorce from his wife, Jocelyn. And before the settlement, there was a subpoena for Fani to come testify in their divorce. So is that a coincidence? Okay, we settled it after 2.5, 3 years of going back and forth, right when the Fulton County DA, who is trying to prosecute the former president, has been called to the front. And now all of a sudden, right after that happens, you want to confirm the relationship. But don't worry about it. There's nothing funny there. It's all good. It's all above board. Now, before I go any further, let's get into a news clip. This is going to be from CBS. If you want to see the clip in full and the article, I will link to it in the description. If you're on IG, visit the link in the bio, go to the corresponding article on the website. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
We are tracking some breaking news for you right now. CBS News has learned exclusively in a filing by Fulton County District Attorney's Office an acknowledgement that Fani Willis engaged in a relationship with attorney Nathan Wade. You, of course, recall that both are working on the Georgia election interference case involving former President Donald Trump.
Joining us now with more on Willis's response is...
before they even get into it, we all knew this was going to be the case. We all knew that. Come on, we saw the money and we saw all the evidence that pointed toward it. I'm just kind of surprised a little bit that she has admitted to it.
CBS News investigative producer Daniel Kleidman. Daniel, extraordinary reporting. Tell us what you've learned here, particularly about how Willis is expected to respond.
Well, CBS News obtained a draft of the filing, the response to the motion that had all these allegations about her having a relationship with Nathan Wade, the special prosecutor who she hired to lead the Trump investigation. And first of all, it acknowledges that there was a relationship between them, but it pushes back very hard on some of the facts that were alleged, but also on the idea that this represented any kind of conflict of interest that could lead to her disqualification from the case or dismissal against any of the defendants.
Let's pause for a minute. Now, if she was with Nathan Wade, the married man, before she appointed him, that's a problem right there. If the money that she was giving him came back to her in a boyfriend, girlfriend, kickback, sweetheart kickback deal, that could be a felony offense. And we know, according to actual credit card receipts that his wife, Jocelyn Wade, produced, we know that he was buying trips and whatnot that they were going on together, meaning Nathan Wade and Fani Willis. And we know that he was buying her airplane tickets in her name. So we know all that just from the receipts we've been given. So when she says, oh, there's no conflict or whatever, that's her opinion. That's what she wants to say. But I think the evidence says something else. She has to admit to the affair because that's obvious. People have seen her. There's probably surveillance video of her at Catch and at Fogo and all these restaurants in Atlanta. People have seen them around. Atlanta's very small. If you know, you know. They've seen them out in Atlanta. There's receipts of them going on trips together. And you got to account for this big amount of money that you spent on his services compared to others you brought on board.
And you have that filing in front of you.
I do.
What stands out to you? What are the headlines?
Well, one of the most, I think, important things in this filing is actually an affidavit, a sworn affidavit by Nathan Wade that is an exhibit. I'll read it. He says in this affidavit, in 2022, District Attorney Willis and I developed a personal relationship in addition to our professional association.
See, that's okay. Let's pause. I'm sorry for interrupting, but that's going to be a key point because remember what I said? If she was with him before she appointed him, that would be an issue. He may be trying to avoid that by saying in 22 we got together because she appointed him in 21. You see, that's a key thing.
And friendship. So there's the acknowledgement of the relationship. But importantly, he also says that relationship did not begin until 2022. My understanding is it's early to mid 2022. He was hired for this position by Fani Willis in November of 2021. That is an important distinction because of the suggestion that she hired someone she was having a romantic relationship with and someone who had come under some criticism for not maybe having all of the credentials needed for a case like this. They also push back on that, by the way. The affidavit lays out in detail his experience as a...
My man was a night court judge. My man was Judge Jerry Springer, RIP at best. That's what he was. He was not an experienced person. He had zero experience in a case like this. That's the reality. And are you guys buying it that they did not start fornicating until mid 22 and not 21 when she hired him? I mean, are you guys buying it? I'm not buying it.
As a lawyer, including having done a lot of felony cases in both state court and federal court.
Do we have a sense at all? I know obviously this is all still developing, but what this could mean in terms of consequences? I mean, what are the chances that Fani Willis might step aside now?
Well, this is the question that everyone wants to know, and there's a hearing that Judge Scott McAfee, who's the presiding judge in this case, has scheduled for February 15th, an evidentiary hearing where he's going to have to hear some of the evidence and then rule on this motion. Look, the bar is high for disqualification on the basis of conflicts of interest. And this is the argument that Fani Willis and her team make here, that they had no vested interest, financial or otherwise, in a conviction in this case beyond wanting to do justice, beyond wanting to vindicate the rights of people in Georgia and in Fulton County. So the idea that the certain financial entanglements between Fani Willis and Nathan Wade could have somehow biased the investigation, they say that is not true at all.
I'm not buying it. Like the whole thing, the reason, from my point of view, in my opinion, the reason why she even started this case is because she wanted clout for herself to potentially go to a higher office, governor of Georgia, senator of Georgia. Maybe she thought she was like Stacey Abrams or Kamala Harris or Michelle Obama, one of these people. She wanted to be in that realm of thought. And then there's a financial aspect. We got to account for the fact that since at least January 22, she has given through the Fulton County DA's office, she has given Nathan Wade $650,000 from the taxpayer. And the next highest person that she hired in the same position got $90,000, and then the third $75,000. So again, how do you jump from $75,000 to $90,000 to $650,000 with the guy that you admitted that you were fornicating with?
One other important detail in the filing is the allegation was that Nathan Wade and Fani Willis went on vacations together, Caribbean cruises, lavish vacations, and that Nathan Wade paid for that from money that she was authorizing paying him for this job. And that was potentially a misuse of taxpayer funds, potentially added to the idea of a conflict of interest. What they reveal in this filing was that they actually alternated paying for some of these trips.
Nah. I'm not buying it. Look, Nathan Wade did not have the money before this. Nathan Wade was doing traffic tickets and whatever. 650,000, bro. Really? Come on, man. Come on.
And Fani Willis actually paid for some of them as well. And there are actually receipts for Delta flights to Miami that Fani Willis paid herself.
So, Daniel, if the report comes out and says there was no misuse of taxpayer funding, that it was not an inappropriate relationship, and that he was not hired by Willis because of a relationship, why not come forward with this from the beginning? Why wait until there are rumors and innuendo and still not?
It's an excellent question. A lot of us were wondering that. My understanding from the sources that I've talked to who are close to Fani Willis is that, first of all, she was reluctant to put a lot of facts out there and information out there before they had all of their ducks in a row.
Before they had their lawyers advise them on the correct way to go legally. Like say, hey, admit to the relationship, but say you started like April 22 rather than right before or years before you brought them on, because that would be almost a felony offense and you might go to the penitentiary, big rocks, little rocks. So don't do that.
In case things were contradicted or they made mistakes, that wouldn't have been good. And then there was also the kind of usual and predictable tension between the lawyers and the more sort of PR-minded people in her office. The lawyers are always reluctant to put a lot of facts out there that they feel they don't need to vindicate their legal arguments.
Yeah. Real quick though, in this filing, because there have been a lot of allegations. Is there any substance to any of those impropriety allegations?
Well, they certainly clear them? They look. I mean, this is their motion in response to the allegations. So this is their position. There will be a hearing. Both sides will have the opportunity to present their cases. So this doesn't end this controversy, but it is the first time we are hearing in any detail what they're saying about it. And they push back pretty hard. Let me just read you very quickly. They're fairly dismissive of the defense's original motion. They say this is not an example of zealous advocacy, nor is it a good faith effort to develop a record on a disputed legal issue. It is a ticket to the circus.
A ticket to the circus. What in the world? Fani Willis, you going to the penitentiary, big rocks, little rocks. Oh, you're going. Nathan Wade, too. In this case against Trump, it's a wrap. Look, if this case goes on, then you know that it's just a sham. You know that it's just kangaroo court at best. This is ridiculous. Fani Willis, really? What in the corrupt... Listen, as I close, I want to say this. This is the kind of thing that goes on in some of these little corrupt, podunk areas. Fulton County, Atlanta, a lot of these people that run it are just full of it. Fani, all these people, it's a lot of them just like this all over the country. They do whatever they want to do. They need to get locked up, man, because this is ridiculous, man. Seriously. Like, this whole case, from my point of view, ain't nothing but a money grab and also a way to get famous. But real life and Instagram attention doesn't really add up, Fani. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? What's your take on this breaking news? Are you surprised? Did anything from what was said in the CBS video, did anything surprise you at all? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. I am not surprised in the least bit. This is them just trying to get ahead of what was going to come out, because everybody knew they were together. This ain't nothing new. People that seen them, you got receipts, you got the wife. See, that's what you get, Fani, for messing with a married man. Oh, he's going through a divorce. Married is married. And now you're seeing part of what can happen when you mess with a married man. And when you also try to graft money from the public. When you're corrupt, when you do wrong, when you don't behave properly, this is the result. So hopefully she's held accountable and she goes to the joint right alongside her boo, Nathan Wade. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.